Joining us on the line now
Minimum wage
is Chef Geoff Tracy, because we got to talk about this proposal from Muriel Bowser to raise the minimum wage in the district. I mean, Muriel Bowser wants to raise it to $15 an hour, and then for tipped employees, people who receive tipped waiters, waitresses, etc., she wants to raise it to $7.50. And Chef Geoff has a thing or two that he would like to say about that. Good morning to you, Geoff.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing very well. Okay, so you run a number of restaurants, and notably you got one in the district that over New Mexico Avenue. It's a booming place, and I was over there the other day. A good place. It seemed like you're doing a lot of business. But how will that business be impacted if you have to start paying waiters and waitresses a base wage of $7.50 an hour, and other employees who do not receive tips $15 an hour?
Right. So the politicians have been perpetually, they've just raised the minimum wage. So we've, in the last couple of years, they've raised the minimum wage, and it's going up this June. It's going to go up next June under the existing conditions. But let's do the math, and we'll do just the servers, okay? So it takes, first and foremost, my servers currently make an average of $27 per hour, and they do so through tips. I pay them $2.77 an hour. And it's important to note that I have to make up the difference if they don't make the base minimum wage in tips. All right, a lot of politicians don't understand that, but it is clear. It takes 30 full-time servers in my restaurant to run a full-service restaurant, and the mayor wants me to pay them $7.50 an hour from $2.77. That's a difference of $4.73 per hour. So if we do $7.50, we got to do the math. That's 30 servers multiplied by 40 hours a week, multiplied by 52 weeks, times the increase of $4.73 per hour. That's $295,152.
All right, and let me ask the follow-up question. $295,000 that would cost you on an annual basis.
Correct.
Who's going to pay for that?
So my restaurant doesn't make $295,152. So if I operated in just the same conditions, I'd just go out of business. Times are tough as is right now. It's a very competitive environment out there right now. I can't find another $295,152.
And just to follow up on that, will you have to make changes to payroll or pass those costs to consumers as a result?
Well, I have a couple options. First option is to go out of business or close up shop. Second option is to totally change the entire business model and the pricing model. I'd have to find and there's a couple options out there. I could have a service included fee and then take that money and then disseminate that money as I see fit or under some sort of system. I could instead of having a service fee, I could have considerably higher food costs and drink costs. I'd have to raise it by at least 20%. I don't really know what to do. I have to kind of get together my team and sort of strategize and, recreate a business model that, worked for, a dozen years. And now with all the sort of increases in costs that are being sort of thrown on my back, it no longer works. And if they make this $15 thing, it will collapse.
Okay, and that's sort of, I guess, the next step. You have a pretty good business, and you might find some way to survive, but it may actually force you out of business. And you have a very successful restaurant. Tell me what it's going to mean to restaurants that are already just barely surviving.
If you're barely surviving and all of a sudden someone throws, a six-figure change into your payroll, and that's just your base payroll, and then on top of that, you're going to pay all your payroll taxes as well, and then all your benefit costs go up as the wages go up. It will destroy anybody. It'll destroy the full-service restaurant industry as we know it.
Is there anything being done in the restaurant community to fight this?
Certainly, the Restaurant Association of Metropolitan Washington, the Nightlife Association, and others are working aggressively to talk some sense into the mayor. It's very easy to promise things to people, and if you're going to give people things like free paid leave or, higher wages. People are like, yeah, I want that, but they don't understand necessarily the economic impact that has. And you guys come to the restaurants, so the politicians will tell me all the time that, oh, well, you just raise your prices. You just raise your prices. You guys have been in my restaurant. When is the busiest time in my restaurants?
Well, early evening, I would guess.
Right, happy hour.
Right.
That's the happy hour period of time. 4 to 7 p.m., the bar is booming. Why is that period the busiest time of the day? It's because I reduced the prices, not because I increased the prices. They just, their concept of price elasticity and economics is insane. It's insane. And we've been doing it every year. They promote something else to increase the cost of doing business. And I'm sort of at wit's end. I mean, I've been doing this for 16 years on my own, and I don't see the future of the full service restaurant industry as I knew it. It's just going to completely change.
And it's very easy. And it's very easy for people who've never run a business before to try to implement these types of policies, right?
Of course, and plus it gets them votes, right? I mean, you don't get votes for making hard decisions. You get votes from giving people things, and it doesn't make sense because in some dark part of my little mind, I almost want this stuff to happen and just watch the implosion.
Well, I mean, this is the thing we keep saying to the elected officials, and they don't seem to be buying it, and they don't seem to understand it.
Because it doesn't affect them.
Maybe you're not making as much as you would like to make, but it's better than not making anything. And if you go out of business, how many jobs are going to be lost?
Right, and to be clear, we're talking about people who are making $27 an average on, $27 per hour on average in my company.
Wow. And what about the other employees who are not tipped employees? Can you afford to absorb their cost going up to $15 an hour?
Well, you have a whole new price model in the back of the house, and I haven't run the numbers on that, but it's going to be ugly math again.
Yeah, so your cooks and all of the people and the assistants in the back, the sous chefs and all that would have a minimum of $15 an hour.
Correct. So your wage scale in the back probably starts at 15, goes to low 20s.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is just one industry we're talking about here, and multiply this times thousands of restaurants in the district. Multiply this times hundreds of thousands of small businesses in the District of Columbia, and you certainly come to understand that everybody's going to be facing something like what Geoff is talking about here.
And one thing that's interesting, and Geoff, I'd love your opinion on this, is that if you look at minimum wage earners in the country, the majority of them are between the ages of 18 and 24. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, how many of these young individuals do you employ, entry-level jobs?
So we take a lot of people. I mean, one of the beauties of the restaurant industry is that a relatively unskilled person. When I first started in the restaurant business, I was a busboy, and I had no experience doing it. So I went and did it, but I was a friendly person. I was hardworking. I made the tip minimum wage, and then I made tips. And at that point, back in the dinosaur age, I was making about $15, $16 an hour. That was awesome.
I'm sorry, Geoff. We have run way over. We got to end it right there. But Geoff, Tracy, I think you've made a very good point.